Welcome back, comic junkies. I am Korbax, giving you fuckers another Korbax's Retro Review. Today I am covering the most epic action film ever made. Today I am covering Highlander. And as the tagline says, despite sequels, there can be only one. The story takes place in New York City in 1986. The main character's name is Nash, or also known as Connor MacLeod, an ancient immortal living amongst humans. He's at a wrestling match there at Madison Square Garden, where he gets pissed off for some reason. Then he storms down a parking lot, where he engages in combat with someone who knows his name, who is also a fellow immortal, ending with Connor chopping the man's head off. And strangely enough, a bizarre form of energy enters Connor. We then cut to the Middle Ages in Scotland, where Connor is a soldier fighting in the MacLeod clan, who's up against a weird ally of another one, a weird goth-looking guy that specifically asked for the army not to assault Connor. So the battle engages, to the point where the goth guy stabs Connor, saying there can be only one before he is tackled to the ground, saving him. Then Connor supposedly dies, but then wakes up to find out he's alive for some reason. Then we cut to a police station where Nash is interrogated and everyone says some pretty mean things about him. Then he tries to fight them off, but then he's let go due to lack of evidence. Elsewhere, that guy who stabbed Connor is in New York City and finds out he was the one who cut off the other immortal's head, since supposedly in the movie's plot, New York is one of the many places of the Gathering where immortals come to fight it out for the prize. So the goth motherfucker is there. Oh yeah, by the way, that's the guy who plays Lex Luthor in Mr. Krabs. Isn't that weird? While this is going on, an investigator/archaeologist is looking up the sword and where it came from and how it's related to Connor. Well, she does some digging in to find out that Connor assumes a bunch of fake names every so often to change appearance. We then cut back to Scotland, where Connor is ostracized by his village and then runs into somebody named Ramirez, a very, very old immortal, played by Sean Connery, who teaches him the ways of the quickening, which is when the energy and wisdom of the person they slaughtered becomes part of them. Later, Connor gets married, and Ramirez warns him not to get that attached, but he ultimately does, and so does Ramirez, enough to the point where he has her over on a night where Kurgan attacks his castle, killing Ramirez and violating Helen, Connor's wife. Then we go back to present time, where we see Connor refusing to participate in the Gathering's game, but Kurgan tries to kill him every time, enough to a point where he kills another one of Connor's immortal buddies. And then he kidnaps the girl that was investigating him, who Connor in the beginning and middle of the story has a thing for, but it's never explored that much. So Kurgan kidnaps her and takes her to some building after going on a weird chicken spree, with Queens, New York, New York played out. And then Kurgan and Connor engage in the final conflict, which ends with Kurgan's head being chopped off. And then Connor has won the prize, gaining all of the knowledge and power he needs. And what was the prize, you ask? To grow old and die, as well as have children, and as an added bonus, be able to have infinite knowledge and the ability to read minds, so he can use his powers to save the world in that shitty sequel. And that was Highlander. It's a kick-ass movie, but what really helps it is the Queen music. If you don't know what I mean, the band Queen composed music for this song, such as I'm the Master of Your Destiny and Who Wants to Live Forever. Those are great tracks that really help the scenes in this movie. Without them, I think this movie would have sucked, so I recommend you see this. That's why I'm giving Highlander a go fucking watch. It looks cheap in some areas, but overall, it's an incredible experience. Plus, it's really funny to point out that the guy playing Connor is that guy who played Raiden in Mortal Kombat. That way you can basically just make jokes about him being in Mortal Kombat. And with that said, that's all the time I have for this review. Please remember to like, subscribe, and of course, talk shit in the comments below. Peace.